According to guidelines published by the State Department, honesty, candor, and thoroughness are very important factors in the process of obtaining a security clearance. And they assert that every case is individually assessed using the National Security Adjudicative Guidelines to determine whether the granting or continuing of eligibility for a security clearance is clearly consistent with the interest of national security. Nonetheless, according to the adjudicative guidelines published by the Department of Defense, a person being considered for the grant of a personal security clearance will be considered a risk if there is sufficient evidence to deny a grant under factors including allegiance to the United States, foreign influence, foreign preference, sexual behavior, personal conduct, financial considerations, alcohol consumption, drug involvement, psychological conditions, criminal conduct, handling protected information, outside activities, or use of information technology systems. Yet, even though under Guideline D, sexual behavior that causes an individual to be vulnerable to coercion, exploitation, or duress may be considered a security risk, homosexuality may be mitigated by evidence, just as a history of not meeting financial obligations may also be mitigated for the grant of a personnel security clearance under Guideline F. However, under Guideline I, there is an expressed concern that certain emotional, mental, and personality conditions can impair judgment, reliability, or trustworthiness. Under this guideline, a formal diagnosis of a disorder is not even required for there to be a concern under this guideline, and no negative inference concerning the standards in this guideline may be raised solely on the basis of seeking mental health. Nonetheless, even though there are mitigating factors under Guideline I that may permit a grant of a personnel security clearance, such as no indication of a current problem, certain mental health conditions, such as bipolar disorder, have been deemed to be recurrent by definition and may categorically preclude a grant of a personnel security clearance or be the cause for revocation to a person diagnosed with these conditions, even in the absence of any impact on the individual's judgment, stability, and reliability, or current evidence of impairment. And essentially, a diagnosis with such a mental health condition is effectively a career-terminating event in violation of constitutionally guaranteed rights to due process. It is wholly inconsistent that no other risk consideration, including criminal conduct, sexual behavior, and even financial considerations, which was the highest reason for revocations of personnel security clearances by the Defense Office of Hearing in 2016, which adjudicated 1,142 cases in that year, followed by personal conduct, a finding that mirrors the preceding year, are category career killers, nor is it sufficient for purposes of satisfying constitutional muster that in those same years, not even one personnel security clearance in the Department of Defense for contractors was revoked under Guideline I because of a concern raised expressly by a mental health or emotional condition, even though such a diagnosis may have presented these symptoms through conduct that created risk to national security. And before a current political crisis presented publicly the possibility that even a majority of Congress, based solely on personal motives, might, without even establishing the predicate requirements of criminal conduct, to vindictively misuse an adjudicative process, the urgency for a review of personnel security guidelines under the factors concerning mental and emotional health should be reviewed to ensure that no person becomes a political target under the subterfuge of mental health. My name is Major Mike Webb, retired Army Ranger, and I am running for U.S. Congress with liberty, honor, and excellence. By God, we shall make America great again. Honest. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb. Honest.